All right. During the warm up. Getting things ready, guys. A-pen twist. Nice seeing you here. I must say I'm a little bit nervous tonight. I'll get over it. Anna's got big shoes to fill. Hey, Nighthawk. Thanks for the host, Mr. Oxford _ SC. How's the volume levels, guys? So far, so good.
Welcome to the Boneyard.
Thank you for the follow, Pen Twist. And welcome to the Boneyard. Tonight is Wednesday. Wednesday is when the moon comes out in the habitat and the wolves take over. Take over the news for their one day of fame. Five more minutes and we'll be taking off. Taking off on our journey to the stars. Find out what information is actually out there. You got some good videos today. I'm gonna save the best for last. Give people more time to come in. I'm going to start out with somebody I don't think we've seen before on the show called Citizen Gamer. Then we're going to go into Board Gamer. And then we're going to do Super Mac Brothers. Teller's got a little 3D imaging of the Hercules that's worth taking a look at. And then Tactical Advance came in with another video. And then we got the Nubifier. That'll be our lineup for tonight. And then
Welcome to the Boneyard.
Thank you for the follow. And welcome to the Boneyard. Looks like I need to put that alert box up a little higher. There we go. Fixed. Special thanks tonight for Oxford for letting me do this. Sorry I don't have any mods yet to help me mod my channel, but hopefully we'll pick one up in the coming weeks and we'll get some follows out for all the streamers and all the supporters and stuff like that. My bot don't even work. I'll have to fix that too. Get a proper follow command. Unless I misspelled it, which is quite possible. Let's try that. Let's try spelling it right. It is spelled right. Well, thank you, Franzo, and welcome to the Boneyard. Appreciate the follow. Just finishing up my scene for the show. Looks like we're gonna go on time here in about 50 seconds. Using Depot, Oxford's got it set up to do fancy things. I gotta get in there and dig. All right, let's get this going.
This thing can stop me.
All right, and welcome to Star Citizen News. It is Wednesday, the day that I take over the habitat for Oxford_SC. Today we're gonna take a deep dive into the news. Start out with somebody that I don't think we've seen before, but I think it's worth a look.
Greetings, everyone, and welcome to the Blastcast. I am Jarvis, and with me, as always, is the master of the Su-27, or at least attempted to be, Lightning Dragon.
Yeah, because I had one successful landing, therefore I am the master.
This week on Around the Verse, it was mostly
Let
about
me know if the
kiosks
volume's
and
alright.
Vandal Blade. The kiosk functionality sounded pretty standard, pretty typical what you see in most games out there. You know, things that you can buy because they're in inventory, or can't buy because they're not. Obviously, larger items aren't going to be shown in the front of the shop. If you need to buy a new Reclaimer engine, you're not going to be able to pick that up and inspect it. Functionality is pretty standard to what you see in a lot of other games like Elite Dangerous and things like that. One of the things I did like that they talked about was how that shops have a sphere around them. Now, within that sphere, when a shop is basically marked out, if they want to add another kiosk, all they have to do is drop a kiosk into that area, into that sphere, and it links up with that shop, allowing them to quickly add more kiosks as necessary without doing a whole bunch of other setup. That's actually pretty smart. Reverse the Verse was also just more of the kiosk, so if you want to know more about it this week, just check that out as well. It's really not something I want to get into too much in this show because I think you're doing a pretty good job on it so far. The other thing they went into is the Vandal Blade, and kind of the changes that went into the Vandal aesthetic. I would expect some of these changes to be applied back into some of the existing Vandal ships that are already in the game. They're more of an organic kind of look than even before. Now, in the Calling All Devs, there was a couple of things in there that we wanted to talk about. The first one that kind of caught my eye, or my ear, so to speak, is the whole quantum drive setting destinations, setting more than one destination at a time, or setting up waypoints that will let you go on a much longer trip. Now, what they have intended to do is that if you set up like a trip to, let's say, 3 systems over, and you select the final destination, basically it would lay out
It's just
a series of travel points that you could go along to get to that final destination. Now, what they want to do is that you can actually pick up those points and move them around a little bit and customize that trip.
I don't know, I kind of want to fix it, but I'm going to take Oxford's advice.
Now, I hope that those lines, that when it
with
auto-generates it, not only can you move the points, but you can actually split the lines to give you more points to let you kind of really create a more customized path. Sometimes you're going to be going through some areas that maybe you really would rather have more of a zigzaggy path and drop in and out as needed to avoid certain problems. We'll have to see how that develops, but so far, that sounds pretty good. Here's one that had some interesting implications. They start talking about the VTOL thrusters and how they would be significantly more powerful than the other thrusters, potentially. They wanted to know, basically, if the less agile ships would have their maneuverability decreased when flying non-horizontally, They said it was partially already implemented in 3.14. For example, the reclaimer needs to have its engines down in a landing mode in order to stay aloft. But my question on that is, if the lower thrusters are going to be more powerful in ships to work for VTOL gameplay for landing on planets, why is the focus on flight still not pitch and roll? Because that's actually a perfect mechanic to go along with it. If the lower MAVs are stronger, then to me, up and down, so to speak, is a more correct way to go than, strafing left, strafing right, like we have now.
This also adds a secondary thing they probably overlooked in the fact that if you have better down thrusters, you need to compensate with better up thrusters. So let's just say they're 200% stronger than your double strength, right? So if you thrust straight up, it's going to take you twice as long to slow down from thrusting left or right, for example, or forward backwards. And even forward backwards is arguable because that's where your main engines are. And in short, they have absolutely no idea what they're doing. It almost physically hurts me to hear about how they're changing things, because it's like they have absolutely no idea what they're doing.
Well, there's a disconnect. You've got this disconnect between the point and click aim to fly methodology, the promise of taking into account G-forces, and then the flying basically going opposite to what you would do or what you would want if you were accounting for those G-forces. But now saying that they want to take into account VTOL, which I'm all for, mind you. But to me, this tells me they need to completely just change flight. Going to the pitch and roll model, which is what you would see to be physiologically correct, so a human being can actually withstand G-forces at its best, goes in line with this. So the main thing I want to talk about today was throttle control. Now, not so much about the method of throttle. We talked about
what this means is they didn't fully think it out before they said they were going to make the game, to me. I don't know how you guys think about it, but, the way they're changing things and all of a sudden they're adding this and adding that. They had this system working and then they totally broke it, and now they're rethinking the whole model, which isn't a bad thing, but that's the impression I get, is that they didn't think it all through. Yeah, right. Exactly, Large.
about that before in the past, the difference between an acceleration throttle and what I like to call a cruise control throttle, which is where you just set the speed and the ship constantly just gets up to that point.
Well, you'd think so, but not in Star Citizen's case. It kind of has a mind of its own. Oh, boosters, huh? Well, sure, as long as you don't touch anything, you can continue to go this speed. Oh, what? You hit left slightly? Well, you're out of boost mode.
And that's exactly the problem I want to talk about. See, taking the throttle out of a player's hands is a bit maddening. Now, we have this stage 1 and the stage 2 afterburner, and as you know, if you're flying straight, everything's fine. But the second you touch the controls, basically, it starts to reverse your speed, it starts to go back into normal SCM speeds. Now, if you recall back if you recall back in 2.5, if you were decoupled, you could actually fly with normal acceleration just by basically having the throttle up. Didn't matter how much. You could get up to the quote-unquote ship cap speed just with normal flying, without boosters, without anything. That's a mechanic I really miss, and I feel it needs to come back. And in fact, when you're doing this, once again, not a fan of the mechanic, but this afterburner stage 1 and this afterburner stage 2, if you're trying to turn, there should be different ways of approaching the problem of keeping the pilot alive. For example, if you had G-Safe on and you were going, let's just throw out a number, 1,000, and a turn at that speed could possibly kill the pilot, instead of pulling the speed back, you limit the rotations, as we talked about in the rotation conundrum.
Yeah, pretty much anything I say here will just be retreading old ground, but for the sake of people that haven't watched every single one of our episodes, the idea, it's almost directly pulled out of Elite Dangerous. In the lower your speed is, the more power you have to divert to your thrusters, which means you can, turn faster, obviously within boundaries of G-forces, that if their acceleration value is applied there, and, up to, I don't know, like maybe 5 Gs be like the most, and that'd be over a certain percentage of time. As you get closer and closer to your top speed, obviously the amount of Gs for your turn will be much smaller. So like if you're going 500 meters per second, you can't do a 5G turn because you already have so many Gs in your forward velocity. So maybe you can only do like a 2G turn because you're hitting that 5G cap.
Yeah, you're factoring in acceleration into that, right?
Yes, I am.
absolutely.
Yeah, because like I said, you might only be able to do a quote 2G turn at 500 meters per second because you already have the acceleration of that 500 meters per second forward velocity. So that's where your limited turning comes in. So you're sacrificing maneuverability for speed, and that's a gameplay mechanic. So if you throttle back, you get more maneuverability. So in a dogfight, when you want to be very maneuverable, you don't want to be just going super crazy fast.
Right, and this also brings back in the rules for like the boom and zoom and whatnot, because you're dealing with the fact that those ships that automatically kind of turn slower anyway, they're going to want to take advantage of higher top speed or higher acceleration to make sweeping attacks. And we covered that in adding variation to flight mechanics. For me, the big problem.
You also got to be careful what you ask for, because sometimes realistic doesn't spell out fun. Like if a reclaimer in real life is like this slow dog and just miserable to move, it'd be a painful experience flying it. So I don't know. I mean, realistic is cool. It's awesome, but I don't know. They're gonna. I think they're gonna go close to realistic, but I hope they keep it fun. I hope they don't just go all out realistic and put everything in there totally realistic to where things become painful.
As I said, the general core of it is slapping the control of your throttle out of your hands, or there are other ways to limit it. Now, if you're doing, let's say you're going 1,000 and you shut G-Safe off, at that point in time, the player should be able to push past what the G-Safe does for rotation at the additional risk of potentially blacking out or dying, for that matter. That's the one of the important parts of any sort of flight game, is walking that edge. But I've never seen a game that goes, okay, well, you want to turn now? Let me throttle back for you. Acceleration and throttle control is key in flight games. That is as deep of a skill as anything else. Now, Lightning Dragon and I have been playing a decent amount of DCS this week because, as I said, I wanted to get into it and try it out. And he will attest, learning that throttle as we're trying to fly side by side, it's a skill that takes a lot of effort. You'll see that later this week when we cover our first 3 play sessions. The first one was alone, the last 2 were with Lightning. But we tried to even fly in formation, and just manipulating the throttle is a full-time job if you're not familiar with the nature of what he was flying, which was an SG-27. What I was flying was an F-15. Well, he was flying SG-27 on the second day. But basically, different planes have different accelerations and whatnot. The point is that the throttle.
I don't think that's on my end.
Is so important. Like, we don't need a boost.
It should work.
Okay? Basically,
I don't
all
know
we
if
need is
Twitch
a throttle,
servers are
heat,
slow
and fuel,
or
right?
what.
You get past a
It
certain
should
point,
be working.
you start burning way more fuel and building up way more heat, but get way more acceleration. Basically, like I've seen in DCS, you get the throttle up to, like, for example, on the F-15, is up to 97%. And there's like this space on your throttle where nothing happens. But once you push the throttle past that point, the afterburners kick on, and suddenly your fuel goes down like a rock.
You
but your
visually see your fuel tank lowering.
Yeah, so it's one of those things that you use that like in a pinch. So that should just be part of standard throttle control. But at no point in time should the game just arbitrarily decide that, oh, you should just be going back into SCM or within a certain quote-unquote tolerable range. The idea of flight is pushing that edge, and to do that, you have to be in control of all aspects of your vehicle, and the only thing that you should be dealing with as far as failure is those consequences. So that's my big, I don't know if it's, maybe, you use the word complaint, I guess. I just don't like having a part of the controls, what little that's actually there, pulled out of my hands. And it's literally like having someone across the room, as Lightning would say, and slap the hood as hard as I can.
Yeah.
And say, no.
Yeah. Another thing is, there's a lot
Thank
of
you
games
for the bits, Lurch.
That have assists. You can turn on infinite fuel. You can, have like the Forces case where automatic braking and things. There's a lot of these like pseudo sim games. Maybe they're not full sims, but they're pretty close to it. They have assists, and in Star Citizen's case,
Thank you very much.
They would have the G-force, thing, and that is something that sits there and monitors your total G velocities, right? And there's like a certain peak, you can only peak up to this high, even if it's double. Let's say it's double, right? So I think the highest peak right now with G suits and fighter pilots is about 9 Gs. So if 18 Gs is your double, well, you can still only take that for 1, maybe 2 seconds in the most, and that is when, if you're flying with that G-safe on, that is when control is taken away from you. And that'd be when you realize, oh, gee, I can't do X or Y because I would black out. And so as you're flying your ship, eventually, if you want to push that edge, you can take the G-safe off. And because you've been flying for a while in this situation, okay, when I do this, it's too much. When I do that, it's too much. Because if you've been flying with it on, the computer tells you that. But you can be like, well, I know I can push for like 1 more second here or half a second here, and you can ride that edge and get better performance.
Yeah, exactly. It's like when we're dealing with the whole like top speed issue and the limitation of rotation. Like I understand the game is going to have velocity caps because of network coding. This is kind of a side subject, but something kind of related to it as well. Let's just say that the speed cap's 1,000, and every ship can almost reach 1,000. What I mean by that is that you use a logarithmic curve. That the closer and closer you get to your end goal, the more time it takes to get to the next, like 950, 951, and then going to 952 even takes longer than that. It kind of keeps going. Ships with faster acceleration can have a different curve, and they're able to slowly walk their way towards your ship. Once again, then at that point you're dealing just with fuel and heat, and it kind of creates the illusion, if you will, of one ship's chasing the other, where one can potentially catch up because it has a better acceleration curve on that particular comparative curve,
Or
but
maybe
it
it
may not
doesn't
have the
have-
fuel, and it may not have the ability to take a heat.
Or maybe it doesn't have a higher acceleration value, but has a better top speed performance.
Or
So
something
while
like-
let's say you have a super accelerated ship, you'll beat him off the line,
Right.
but the other ship that's chasing you, maybe he doesn't have as good acceleration, but he has better top speed performance. Maybe he uses a little bit less fuel. His acceleration values at that top end are higher because he's got a bigger engine. The difference between a small block engine and a big block engine, basically, if you're a mechanic.
Right, and the reason I brought that up is because that goes back to the idea of limiting rotation and not speed. Because if you were to go ahead and let people walk up to that top speed and they wanted to make a turn, say the guy realizes that the other guy's going to catch up to him, there's nothing he can do about it. At that point in time, if he was to just try to maneuver or change direction in whatever way, the game would punish him by quickly slamming him in reverse, so to speak, and letting the other guy catch him just like instantaneously. By just limiting rotation, it changes the way he could like slowly curve off to a direction to kind of maybe head towards a base or something like that. It's not going to punish him as much than it does right now, which is basically just either you got to hold down your boost and burn up your fuel while you're trying to make that adjustment, like all of your fuel, like hardcore, or it's just going to drop you back out. And I don't know. To me, it seems like the idea of even the speed caps, to an extent, it causes problems with the amount of fuel you're going to be consuming. I mean, think about it. It's like driving through a city. Like you get worse mileage in a city than you do out driving on a highway, right? Because you're stopping and starting. Well, if you're dealing with fuel limits, and every time you try to make a maneuver when you're in high speed, what's going to happen? You're stopping and starting. It's going to basically cause problems in when it comes to these limitations start coming in. So they really need to stop messing with the throttle. Let us deal with it, and let pilots be pilots. We don't need all the hand holding. It really feels like that there's just a massive amount of hand holding in Star Citizen. It's just I can't even define. This is like literally like playing. If you've ever played like Forza or if you play Gran Turismo, sometimes it feels like you've got all the assists on. You can see the line around the corner. The wheels don't wear and tear. I know that's being fixed later, so to speak. But it's like it auto brakes at the corners. It's just like it feels like it's like
You're
stop
not
holding my
driving the
hands.
car.
Yeah, it's just too much. It's too much. Piloting is supposed to be a skill that grows, and like my performance between the first day of DCS versus the third, there was a big improvement. I still got a long way to go, but I can feel the improvement. And in Star Citizen, a lot of times I feel I'm fighting the controls, and I don't like that. I want to fly my vehicle. I don't want to fight the controls. Any final thoughts, Lightning?
Oh, well, about 20 minutes ago, in the middle of that big, long, uninterruptible sentence, I was thinking of Maverick from Top Gun. I'm gonna hit the brakes, he's going to fly right by us.
There you go.
He's going to do what?
Hey, don't expect me to put that clip in here. That'll probably get like the whole
Oh,
video.
yeah, jeez.
Anything
no.
Top Gun is just like nope.
Anything Top Gun is instant copyright strike, flags, video was blocked in all countries. And hell, even just saying a quote from there, woof, danger
Yeah.
zone.
All right, guys. Well, before we wrap this up, just want to let you know either Thursday or Friday we'll be showing off a compilation of our first 3 days together, as I stated earlier. We had like 6 hours of footage or something like that.
Yeah, I know the third day we flew around
You're
for
not seeing 6 hours of footage.
it was like 2 hours the third day that we flew around. Most of that was just flying around. We were just having fun.
Yeah, it's like 20 minutes long. So it's like I took like the best bits. So anyway, guys, that's about everything for this week. Leave your thoughts down below. How do you feel about the iteration of the throttle? How do you feel about having the speed constantly ramp up or ramp down depending upon what you're doing? Do you want to see Star Citizen do something better with throttle, or are you happy with the way it is? I mean, everyone's got their preferences. So, all right, guys, that's about everything. We will catch you on the next one.
Bye-bye, everybody.
Goodness gracious.
All right, that was our first video, and it was by Citizen Gamer. And if you liked his video, please go here and give him a like. Want to join their discussion about flight controls or throttles and all that good stuff, please do. Now for our next video, we're going to see what Board has to say.
Hello and welcome to some more Star Citizen. Every week we summarise the Calling All Devs FAQs, as well as grab any other interesting bits from Spectrum and Reddit that have been answered by the devs, this time up to the 22nd of May 2018. We're going to be looking at animation snapping, death, waypoints, navigators, VTOL, and server meshing today. Animations in-game at the moment snap to position once you've initiated them, so using a ladder or entering a ship that you confirm that you're entering, after a couple of seconds you'll be forced into an animation of getting into it. No matter how far away you are, you're effectively teleport or snap to, even if it doesn't look particularly good. Animations in the future will not snap or pull you in and teleport you as much. So you'll be able to break off from an animation by moving too far away from it, for example. We should actually start to see this in 3.2, along with some other more general animation polish. You'll be able to cancel some animations as well, like picking up boxes and that sort of stuff, cancel animation, so you don't just have to pick up a whole box if you've accidentally picked up a box rather than drawn your weapon. Death of a Spaceman was the early idea of permadeath in Star Citizen, the early ideas behind all that. And so that's going to continue to develop. But permadeath is going to be a thing in the persistent universe. When you die, you're going to lose items from your local inventory. Now, when you die, you'll be pulled in to like a medical center or respawn somewhere else, and you're potentially going to be able to recover those items that you've lost that were on you when you went down, got knocked out, whatever. And you're going to accrue battle damage as well to your character, so scars, injuries, and that sort of stuff are all going to appear, typically and probably based on how you died. You might have a bionic arm if you got shot in the arm, for example, and then died from blood loss because of that. If you die too much, however, you will permanently die and will have to create a new character. Your assets from the character that died will get passed on to your new character, but there might be some form of death tax or loss of reputation. That stuff is still being fleshed out. At the moment, they know that they want death to matter, but they don't want it to ruin your enjoyment of the game. They want you to be aware that you are killable, that you could die, and your mortality and risk and reward to mean something. Now, obviously, that's going to mean a bit more to role players. You're going to be more attached to your characters, typically, but it's still going to matter to people that aren't role playing. They're improving quantum travel as well in lots of different ways, some of which we will see in 3.2, but some beyond that. They're looking at ways of setting up multiple quantum travel waypoints as part of a single plot. So at the moment, the idea they have is you'll select an end destination and the map will put in the multiple jumps if there are obstructions, but you'd be able to choose a different route if you wanted to avoid a certain area. Hopefully, eventually, we'll be able to hit fully plot routes that we want ourselves. And this actually followed on to another question. Navigators. So navigator as a role will be a thing. It's probably going to scale up importance-wise with the size of a ship. So what I mean by that is plotting courses and checking to make sure there's room for your ship or fleet in that location is obviously much more important on larger ships and multi-crew ships. It's likely to be useful for fleets, and the player that's in the navigation role can obviously take on other roles too. We don't know how in-depth that role is going to be, basically, but I suspect that it requires some skill or some understanding of different sizes of potentially jump points and areas of space, and working out how your fleet's going to come in. Maybe you choose what angle your fleet comes into a certain area or zone, whatever, but it's doubtful that it's going to take up all your time, but we'll have to wait and see. VTOL, so vertical takeoff and landing, has started to become a thing in the latest 3.1.4 patch, so VTOL thrusters are now important, and they're likely to become more important. So at the moment, larger ships like the Reclaimer, they have to be in VTOL, or you have to be aware of how your thrusters are orientated once you're coming into a planet or moon's atmosphere to counteract gravity, or at least not have gravity pulling you down to the position where you're just going to smash into the ground. Expect a more simulated system that gives each planet and moon their own unique gravity in the future. Weather and atmospherics will have an effect on your ships differently, and how they fly, and what thrusters and what orientations you need to fly your ship in, what's safe for a ship, what's not safe, how much cargo and stuff it can carry without being pulled down, being too weighted, too overloaded to get out of an atmosphere. And this all going to affect the way it flies, its maneuverability, and potentially as well, your thrusters may overheat, things like that. There was a question on Spectrum as well. How many players will be able to be in the same location after the introduction of server meshing technology? So this question is referring to Alpha 3.4, which is coming in December, and is going to have the first stage implementation of server meshing tech. At least that's what's planned. This is going to allow multiple servers to seamlessly and dynamically handle player loads and areas based on population. And obviously, it's all tied in with network bind culling and the object container streaming systems and all that sort of stuff as well. Bearded CIG answered that question, however. The answer for questions of this nature are usually going to be along the lines of as many as we possibly can while maintaining reasonable functionality of the game. One of the challenges for any company that is trying to support a game that is hosted on servers that the company is paying for is that they need to be able to get their player population dense enough for the price of hosting the game to be a reasonable expense. As games evolve and new technologies are developed, that number may also change. Although that was kind of really a non-answer, it is an answer. It's as many as they possibly can, which is reasonable. They literally have to implement the tech, polish it, see what it's like, and see how many they can get in the game. We'll know closer to the time of 3.4's release, but they don't have a target number at the moment. And that goes along with what Aaron was saying in my interview with him a while ago. He basically said, yeah, as many as possible, hopefully hundreds, that sort of thing. Additionally, Lithuane continues to make maps of areas in-game. He's just made an updated Grimhex one this time for 3.1.4. They're all kind of blueprint-orientated and themed. He's got ones for Port Olisar, Levski, the Deford Link racecourse. Pretty much all the areas in the persistent universe have been mapped there in some way that are fleshed out anyway that you could do blueprints for. He's also got blueprints for ships and vehicles like the Merchantman, Retaliator, and Cyclone, and useful infographics and tips and info on some of them as well. Find links to all of the ones he's done so far, I believe, in the description below. But Lithuane, please make more, and please continue to make them. When we start to have actually a big universe, having these, like, areas and hero zones mapped out like this in quite high detail, it's just very useful, and I very much like these. Every month we have a Star Citizen vehicle giveaway. This time it's for a Tonk and Turtle, the Tumbrel Nova and Anvil Terrapin, provided by our featured organisation, Talon's Outer Haven, a roleplay and exploration-focused organisation that's individual member-centric and like testing in the persistent universe. They have their own radio station too, and they're recruiting, so check out their org in the description below. But to be in for a chance of winning that pair of goodies, make sure that you are subscribed to my YouTube channel, and then comment on any of my videos made during May. Each video gives you another chance to win. Also, I'm working with Shadow, which is a cloud-based subscription gaming PC service that gives you an alternative to upgrading, but also as a gaming PC anywhere. I'm trying to make the service as Star Citizen friendly as possible, but please check that out again in the description below if you're interested, and using the promo code BOARDGAMER will give you a discount too if you decide that you like it. Thank you very much for watching. Please don't forget to like and subscribe, as it really does help me, and I'll see you in the verse.
All right, that was Bored. A little glimpse into the future. And I apologize that I didn't switch the scene over to full screen for you guys for the first video. I forgot that I had the 6x9 non-ultra wide thing set up. I won't do that again. The next one is Super Mac Brothers. They came in with one. Toot toot is fine. What's that mean, toot toot? Is that a New Zealand word, toot toot? Or are you talking about the dress that ballerinas wear? You got me there, Oxford. Hey, at least I know what bugger means now. I know. I'll get better. I will get better. We'll be the best. Okay, this is about the Van Duel Blade and the shopping kiosks. Volumes are okay, guys? Did I get it right the first
Hello
time?
and welcome
on the
to
volumes?
Star Citizen Sunday. This is a weekly show which covers all the news of Star Citizen from the week just past. I am your host, Mac, so let's get on with it. This week we got to see progress on new biomes, specifically coming to Hurston and its moons. They answered our questions on the shopping kiosks, plus we took a look at the new revamped Vandal Blade. So for Calling All Devs this week, the first question asked was, is it going to be possible to overload your ship so much that it cannot take off? And they say yes, but it depends. Now, dedicated cargo ships will have thrusters strong enough to account for these kinds of loads, but for example, if you had an Avenger full of very dense material, it will struggle to take off, if at all. As you play the game, they say that you will learn more and more about what you will be able to do in terms of transport and your ships to keep the ship from handling well. But things like swapping out to more powerful thrusters may help you, but then you may need to upgrade your power plant to do so, but then you may need a new cooler to cater for the heat being generated. Potentially removing your weapons could give you a bit of a heads up there. But all that may help you get off the ground. But it's going to be a case of each ship will be different, and depending on how you mod your own ships will determine how well they perform. So next question is, what distance will players be able to detect distant contacts, and will passive and active sensors affect these ranges? Now, the values at the moment they say...
Now, what he just said is why I regret not getting that full Endeavor package with the big round centrifuge thing for overclocking weapons and all that stuff. I think I missed the boat, and I missed out on a very important ship. But the good news is that I have a CCU for one stashed away. So if I can't pick one up on the anniversary sale, I always got that CCU. I mean, I didn't think of how important it was at the time, but now I realize that that ship and overclocking the weapons is going to be a major role in gearing up. It's kind of like you need it.
They are very low, and all the ship's radars see the same distance. There was an issue when they introduced them to 3.0 or 3.1, I think it was, and it just set all the radar back to default. So 3.2 will have that fixed. Each ship in 3.2 will have its intended radar distance, but bigger ships, they said, will have a greater range and longer timings to identifying things. So basically speed to identifying and the depth of identifying will come later on. Speciality scanning ships will obviously have a much greater ability of and much quicker ability at scanning and getting the information you want. But specific ranges for each ship as they come in will be tested and altered over time, so even if they're in initially, they may not be correct. Third question is, can you tell us more about the party system for the future? Currently, they say they're laying the groundwork for party organisations and communicating. They are working on the group system, which whether they are for party groups or just chat groups, but once done they can add chat between different members, quantum linking together, missions with groups and then divvying up the reward so you can all go on a mission together. Also having dynamic groups, maybe whispering individuals or whispering to groups and so forth. They are working with Turbulent as well to get the back-end system in for Spectrum chat. They don't want people to have to be in-game to be able to communicate with your group or your friends or your organisation, so you can organise maybe future events. They also want you to be able to join your friends quicker, so if you can see that your friend is getting into a ship at Port Olisar and you want to join, you can click a button and he'll accept it, and then you'll maybe wake up in a bed on your friend's ship or something like that. So basically getting you into games quicker. And
now, that would be cool. I mean, how many of you guys in chat would think it would be cool, like, if you join Oxford server, you wake up in Port Olisar bed, and then you go up to some terminal or something and hit join Oxford ship, and then all of a sudden you wake up in his bed. And I think that'd be totally awesome. I don't think that I know there's probably going to be some crybabies who are saying that ruins my immersion and stuff like that, but I think that they got to keep it fun, and that's going to be a way to keep it fun. I mean, I don't want to drive halfway across the universe for 45 minutes to go try to find Oxford so I can play with my friend. Yeah, at the main menu. Exactly. So I like how they're talking realistic, but they're going with fun instead on that.
And grouping you up quicker is priority for them, and that should be good. Final question is, what is the status on implementing the original backer stretch goal rewards? If you don't know, when everyone first backed, they got a lot of these rewards, which just sort of rewarded the early backers, like an Orc armor or an RSI test flight suit and so forth. When are they implementing them, basically? And he said that they're just going through all the backlogs now and prioritising things. They cannot say when. They're obviously closer than they've ever been. Original rewards are now prioritised in a list of when to come up next. And hopefully it won't take them too long, because I really want all those stuff, all those goodies that we got promised. Anyway, that was it for Calling All Devs. Let's move on to Around the Verse. So on Around the Verse, starting as usual with the project update, they said they've made progress on the mining mechanic. The laser rock highlights are in and working. What you're going to see is just visual effects placeholders though. There's 3 levels of breakage with the 4th to be added. They're still working on the physics for these. Rock destruction visual effects work is ongoing as well. They've got specific states like in progress mining, safe mining, and dangerous mining. These visuals will be replaced, so the beam that you're seeing, again, is not final either. They're also implementing feedback from Chris Roberts for the tractor beam look and the way it acts. The tweaking, the scanning, and the mining UIs, we've seen a little bit of this. It looks quite cool. These will all be finalized once the Prospector boom arm is complete. The Prospector weapons, when you're mining, will be in offline mode due to the power allocation. So if you wanted to switch back to your weapons, you would have to stop mining and then reshift or reallocate the power. They are still working on the button interaction and key bindings for mining, which will switch and control the modes, which we will all have to learn when they come around. Anyway, they're also testing to get the FPS AI working in the Persistent Universe. We can see the AI running in an outpost. They're not behaving as they should. They are continuing to work on the fixes for these. Work is also being done on the death masks for several ships like the reworked Avenger coming in 3.2, plus other ships like the Hurricane. They're doing work on ballistic visual effects for weapons, which includes more natural muzzle flash and less intrusive tracers, which does look a lot better. Audio have done some work on the sound effects for 3.2 weapons like the Gemini F-55 light machine gun and the Kastak armed Scalpel sniper rifle. They do sound really cool, and that sniper rifle is going to sound awesome when in a sort of planet environment. Talking of environments, the environmental work continues on hangars and various stations, such as the drone bay. Also added panels for visual interest and AI interactions. Plus we got to hear the door sounds and see the animations as it opens up, and it does sound really cool. I just cannot wait to be prepping a ship ready to take off, and then as it starts moving, the doors open up. Kind of slow, but I think we'd appreciate them all the same. Hurston Planet is coming along with multiple biomes being visually tested and developed, including the landing zone, which is Lawville. That's really coming together, they say. They've got an acidic biome, which is coming along well, doing some visual tweaks to its sulfur pools. Now, I believe that is to be one of the moons, one of the 4 moons of Hurston's. We saw some work in progress renders of the savanna biome with trees and the lighting getting attention. This is going to be the test bed for wind and detail bending, I assume, because they can see the trees bend and then the sort of...
Now, is it just me, or does that just look like World of Warcraft? I mean, take a good look.
Plants bending with nature. They said that you can really see the visual diversity being developed for Hurston and its moons. We've got to see a bit of a trash biome as well, which is part of Hurston. So each moon may have a single biome to them. I'm not sure if they're going to have multiple, but Hurston will have multiple biomes. It isn't just going to be one biome over the whole place. We've seen the trash, we've seen trees and savanna. We've also seen around the landing location of Lawville these sort of African-style sort of fat trees. They said the Lawville visual development continues with prototypes for artistic direction, mood, and what visual effects will be needed. Kind of looks like a bit like weather. They said they're really seeing great progress with Hurston. It is going to, as I say, it's going to have multiple biomes. There's going to be 4 moons, and they will vary in style like the acidic environment. I cannot wait to be able to get down to Hurston. Anyway, one of the main features of today's ATV was the shopping kiosk. It's inspired by the VMA, the PMA for displaying guidelines. Won't look like them for the final, but it will be a completely sort of reskinned and unique. They'll have branding for each shop, which will be different, and, you know, just to make sure it's not too repetitive. So Kasaba we got to see with red and white, looks nice there. But you'll be able to pick an item port on your ship, see what's currently equipped, and then a list of what's available. It'll tell you the stats, you'll be able to compare, and then buy and equip them, or just buy them and store them in your global inventory, which is kind of like a non-physical holding for the moment where all your items will be. I believe you will have to physically send them to locations in the future. It's not just going to be this random non-physical super deep pocket. Shops around locations will sell items that are made from materials which are in abundance in that area, and so the economy for shops tie into the mining, meaning that certain weapons or items that are in abundance at certain locations will be cheaper, which means you can buy them and then sell them somewhere else where maybe they're a bit more sparse and make a profit on them. Kind of like the supply and demand loop. Now, the first release of the shopping kiosk will allow you to buy items for the global inventory or equipping them, and what items are available for each lot. The next step, they say, is to have the shop items and owned items side by side in a list so you can see what you've got. They'll also look at the feedback that we have and adjust it, tweak it, sort of get the flow of the experience getting better. Just updating things that they can't foresee right now. They have the base functionality working, they can see the items, they can buy the items, and they will persist. They're just sort of getting on with reskinning the kiosks so that they're not repetitive. Anyway, the second section of ATV was a ship shape to do with the Vandal Blade. Now, they're making these ship shapes a little bi-weekly, shorter and more refined so that we get more information quicker rather than having to wait a month for each update. Now, the Vandal Blade is kind of the Gladius of the Vandal fleet. It's getting reworked now. It's a single-seat fighter, quite small, 4-size, 2 guns, weaker than the Scythe, for example, but with a vicious punch. Very agile, multi-purpose fighter, fast and very aggressive. The wings fold in for the landing mode, and each wing has its landing gear sort of pad inside it, and then a central skeletal deployment as well. It pulses throughout the ship. Should it pulse when a human flies? I don't think so, because obviously the Vandal, their bodies pulse to communicate, whereas ours don't. So I don't know if that should just be an aesthetic thing rather than a means to communicate. I don't know. But the dashboard is holographic. It looks very cool. There are no screens, no real clutter either. The Vandal lore creates tech in an interesting way. So they're kind of seen as scavengers. They absorb other races' tech and then repurpose it, combining things together. They're not too bothered about aesthetics. They just conquer and absorb. They use these ships called harvesters to scrape the resources from the planets and then refine it into materials that they then bind together with some form of silicon-style substance. This Vandal blade is the closest ship to what they want the ships to look like, final, but they still want to nail down some visual ident for the Vandal style in their ships. So we may see a little bit of work coming here and there in other places. Anyway, just to finish off with the rest of the ship shape, spoke about the Avenger rework. They're just doing the EMP tweaks, getting the cargo room LODs done, and updating the Renegade library for materials. They're also on the 600i making progress on the captain's quarters and a lighting pass on the hub area. But anyway, that was ATV. We'll move on to RTV, which talks a little further into the shopping kiosk feature, answering our questions. So for a reverse to versa, talking further about ship item kiosks, the first question is, will we be able to buy multiple items at once? And they said the process of the item kiosk is focused on per item selection. So you pick up some ammo, you can pick a quantity, but it's not going to be like a shipping cart experience. You will have to buy and select where you want each item to go, equip it, and then send it to somewhere else. They said they're not sure about the future for carts and shopping carts, but it's early days, so I would think so. It's like most things. Like with some other questions, if it's logical, they'll probably put it in. So the next question is to do with the global inventory. So this is something we've heard them speak about quite a few times. Basically, it's going to be a safe place where the player can put any of the items that he's not either wearing or attaching to his ship. You can just buy it and equip it to whatever slot you want, but they want it to be a place it's kind of digital. And again, it's early days, so I expect this won't, like in the future, you'll have to send it to a certain location, like a hangar or a ship's hold or wherever, other than just randomly in nothingness. Third question, will NPCs be able to be the kiosk rather than using kiosks? Now, they've not really spoken about it, but it would be a good opportunity for roleplay. It would be nice to have that traditional buying experience, so maybe in the future you will still be able to go up to items on shelves and buy them that way, rather than having to just use the kiosk all the time. But I agree, it would be nice maybe in places that don't have kiosks, maybe a place making the person the kiosk, the NPC. Next question is just quite a basic one, why kiosks? Now, the reason for kiosks is to allow CIG to implement hundreds, even thousands of items without having to add them all physically to the inventory of the shops. Also, the stores are not big enough to hold items like, say, a reclaimer thruster. They're just too big, so they need to be able to have them somewhere that is not having to be physically rendered. They're still going to be able to go up to items, as I've said before, and just buy them. The kiosks just allows us to do things in a hurry and to see all the items without having to walk around a warehouse. Although that would be quite cool. Anyway, next question. How do you make the kiosks immersive? Now, they are trying to keep them as realistic as possible, like kiosks we have in shops today that you can use to buy things. They want to make them a bit customizable. The kiosks will always feel quite similar in terms of usability, but they will look unique for each shop's branding. Next question is, will kiosks have a search option? I think it's very important. They say currently no. They will gather the feedback from the first iteration that they put out there, the first tier of these kiosks, and we will say what we want. The most upvoted request will be worked on initially, and then everything else will trickle in. But it does depend on what we tell them and what we want. So again, going back to logic, a search option is very logical. Same for the next question about comparison, like comparing different items. For the first iteration, it's going to be very bare bones. We won't have proper comparisons. We won't have a search option. But the future updates will be more and more likely, just for the sake of it being useful. So next question, will we have a buy history or a previously bought item? Maybe if you're replenishing ammo, you might want to get the exact same ammo as last time and you just can't remember what it is. Now, they said there's no plans for a buy history, but it does sound like a good idea. So again, maybe for the future. Next question is, will there be limited amounts of items? And not likely for tier 0. They say that you'll just have an infinite amount. Like we have at the moment, you can just keep buying the same thing as long as you've got the cash to. But they are currently now working on balancing the quantities. The inventory counts will have to be limited to encourage gameplay and people to travel to different locations. Plus, it is all a part of the supply and demand economy system, so definitely. So, can we buy amounts of items, like multiple amounts of maybe 5 magazines? And yes, it will have the option of quantities, so right at the moment you have to go and you click on it, you buy it, click on it, you buy it, it's so awkward, but this time you can multiply them. So can we use kiosks through our Mobiglass? Now that is a very good question, and he agrees. He says there's no plans for it, and it would kind of be like buying online with your mobile. So potentially something like a digital app in the future could be cool, but they do want to have, again, reasons for people to travel to locations. It's not going to be like real life where you just use Amazon to buy everything. This is where the difference between reality or realism and gameplay work. They don't want people to just buy everything on their Mobiglass because then there would be no point of having physical shops. Second to last question, are the plans for kiosks to use REC rentals? Now, the REC, the rental equipment credits, is a currency for the electronic access game within the game. So it's a game within a game currency. It's not the currency we'll be using in the Persistent universe. When it comes to renting things, Jared says this is likely to be an option in the Persistent universe sometime, just not likely using rental equipment credits. Always going to be United Earth credits. There may be some variation to it when it comes to renting items, but yes, renting is going to be a thing. So if you don't own a prospector, but you want to do a bit of mining with your friends, you can go out, you can rent a prospector without having to pay so much money for one, and then just mine for the duration of the rental and return it. Final question, will there be black market kiosks, maybe in pirate hubs and stuff? Now, they said that there's nothing to stop them putting pirate hub kiosks and having the option to do so, but it's just way too soon to say yay or nay just yet. Anyway, that was Reverse the First, guys. Let me know your thoughts. So also this week, we got a new Booty Call post, which was titled, Look Smart. So that brings us to the end of the show. Thank you for watching, and thank you to our subscribers, plus a massive thank you to our patrons as you make this possible. If you like what we do and want to help us make it better, follow the link in the description to our Patreon page to learn more.
All right. Super Mac Brothers. I'll put his link here. I think I forgot to put Board's link to his video. She should comment for his giveaway if you haven't already this month.
Hello and welcome to...
Put Board's video link. Second one's Board. There we go. So am I doing it right so far, guys? I hope so. I hope you're enjoying yourselves. Elfane is my moderator for my channel. Even though he doesn't know how to be a mod yet, we're both learning. And he streams a game made by Richard Garriott, also known as Lord British, who is a friend of mine. And he was the first person to hire Chris Roberts at Origin. And I think Chris was like 23 years old. So, yeah. And he's streaming Lord British's game. It's called Shroud of the Avatar. So if you guys are interested in like an adventure game or whatever, follow Elfane and you'll get to see what Lord British is doing. He had a Kickstarter for it, just like Star Citizen, and raised his money and did it. So let's go to the next video here. The next one is, it's just kind of like it's from Teller. He does those 3D modeling of the Hercules. I thought it'd be cool to take a look at it, and I think I'm going to slow it down to normal. Get it going here. I mean, I really like the look of this ship. I like how it's a cargo hauler, but it's, well, the M2. I like the M2 like for a cargo hauler. It's like, it seems to be more fortified. Tonk. The two Tonks. Yeah, Lurch, that's kind of puzzling, isn't it? From what I hear, it's not easy working for Chris Roberts to get something approved. That could be the holdup. And that was Teller. Uh-oh, and I closed it. I love Teller's work. Link that right there for you. And now we're getting to the guy with the voice. I mean, I would love to have this voice. Tactical Advance. Coming in with some...
Ladies and gentlemen,
mining
Tattoo Advance
information.
here, and welcome to a news update. Quite a bit to go through today. We're going to cover off some of the upcoming patch as well. Some of the bits that I think are pretty significant that are going to add some cool gameplay and things for us to do. But starting with the latest news, we've had an update on the mining, rock destruction, and also tractor beam that's going to be coming in the next patch. We're only a month away from this next patch, so we're going to be very shortly be playing this as well. Looks pretty cool. It's early days yet on the animation side of it. I think they're just focusing on the core gameplay. The animations and what it looks like can always be changed later on. I imagine the Prospector is going to be a very, very popular ship in 3.2. No doubt Star Citizen will do a sale as well on the Prospector, I should imagine. One thing they did highlight about the mining is when you're mining, your weapons go offline. I suppose it sort of makes sense. They go offline because you're using all your power in the mining process. I should imagine this would probably be the same with tractor beam as well. One thing I did see from the scanning aspect of it, the UI looks far more advanced than the tractor beam and the mining aspect of it. They've made some progress as well on the FPS AI. I believe they've had some challenges with them as well, moving through the zones and reacting and looking human. This is always going to be a challenge with AI. I think the AI for Star Citizen, they're just going to be working on this for the coming years to get them really, really refined and working well. The ones that we've seen so far in Squadron 42, they seem to work quite well. We just want more dynamic ones in the PU. We also have a couple of weapons coming up as well. We have the Gemina, I'm probably saying it wrong, 55, and also a sniper rifle as well, which looks absolutely awesome. When I saw this, it reminded me like one of the sniper rifles out of Arma 2, and I put a little bit of a video clip in the back. What we do is we pause the sound while you listen to this. Hurston is making good progress as well. We're going to be seeing different types of environments as well. Currently, the planets we've got, or the moons, well, I wouldn't say they all look the same. Okay, we've got a couple of different colours. Hopefully, we're going to be seeing some trees and some terrain as well. So different sorts of vegetation as well, which will make the planets and the moons look a little bit more lively. We're going to see an update to the kiosk system as well. You use the kiosk when you're doing cargo runs normally, and also you would use a kiosk when you're purchasing clothes, suits, and also weapons and ammo and modules for your ship. We will have a global inventory. I should imagine this inventory will cover off things like weapons, suits, modules, and things like that. We got to see the Vandal blade in all its glory. It looks absolutely amazing. Far better than the other two Vandal ships that we currently got. They did say that the blade is nearer to what the lore specifies that the Vandal ships should look like and how they should be designed. This will clearly mean that there will be a pass over the other Vandal ships at some point in time. Moving on to a little bit of other news as well. CitizenCon will be held on Wednesday, and that's on October the 10th, 2018 in Austin. I'll leave a link in the description below if you want to take a look at that. Now, if you're new to Star Citizen and maybe you're just signing up now or you haven't signed up yet, I'll leave a link in the description below. Star Citizen have made a really, really good post giving you all the information you need to know about getting started in Star Citizen. This gives you everything from how to equip a weapon, how to do most of the basic things. I think one of the biggest challenges at the moment with Star Citizen, when you first log in and you spawn your ship, other than taking off and just flying somewhere, it can be challenging to really understand what you can actually do without spending quite a bit of time playing the game and asking questions. So this guide will help you out a little bit on the way and maybe help you to maybe complete your first cargo run. We've also seen a few new ships come into the game as well. They're under the manufacture of Crusader Crusader Industries. It's the Hercules Starlifter. You've got the M2 military spec, the ground vehicle one. You've got a C2 cargo hauler and the A1 Hercules, which is a gunship. So there's a few variants there. I'll leave a link in the description so you can go and take a look at some more information on them as well. I'm going to go through a few things that are going to be added in 3.2. There has been some additions and some updates to the 3.2 roadmap. Most of it giving you more information about what it actually means. We've run through a few of them. Quantum travel improvements, pretty straightforward. Economy polishes as well. I think for the economy, I think when you start the game, only having 5,000 UEC is probably not enough. And I'm only saying that on the basis that at the moment, if you decided to put all that money inside your ship and do a cargo run, and you lose it, i.e. the game crashes, then that's it, you've got nothing. Now, you can go and do other missions to get your money back, but you're getting 300 to 500 per mission, so you have to do quite a few to get your money back. Doing one mission can take 20 minutes, 30 minutes. I would like them to maybe temporarily increase the UEC for everyone, just while we're in the development phase, particularly for some of us who've got the slightly bigger ships and would like to fill the ships up with a full load of cargo. Now, undoubtedly, once they iron out these issues and they fix these bugs, then maybe that won't be such an issue. But at the moment, I would like to see a little bit of an increase in UEC. It would help us out in the short term. Right, the grouping system and identify friends, travel in groups, coordinate.
I'd be happy to see my starting UEC.
And share location information and chat with different groups. This just sounds like really basic stuff to me, but at the moment, if you've played Star Citizen, you've flown around, then it's imperative to have that. Not having it makes it very difficult, particularly when you're trying to identify who's who and everyone's got the same suit on. So that is really going to be a good thing. I'm looking forward to that. Now, we're going to be seeing service beacon improvements as well. A little bit of a tip for you guys out there as well. If you've got a bigger ship and you've got a bunch of your mates, and what you can do is each one of your mates can do a service beacon for all their money, as long as you're quick to accept it. Literally just pick them up, drop them on the floor. It's one way by transferring money between players. I'm sure that it won't be like that later on down the line, but you can do that now. That just enables you to do bigger cargo runs as a group, so then the other people that are on board the ship, they've got invested interest as well. So little tip for you as well. One of the big features coming up in 3.2, which I sort of briefly spoke about at the start, is the mining of planetary bodies, and that will be mining on planets and also mining asteroids as well. Quantum linking, we spoke about this in the past in one of my previous videos. Once again, the ability to link together with a big bunch of your mates be brilliant. And also, if you've got a little prospector and you're going to do some mining, you might want to have someone with you now to be your wingman, because once that laser fires up, you've got no weapons. Quantum linking, the group aspect of it, it's going to work really well. Now, the next one's an interesting one. Item 2.0, ship systems and weapons. It does say power allocation as well, but we've sort of got that already. Now, if you've been inside the Terrapin actually has all the little doors that's open. It's really cool. You can open all the doors on the ship. Watch my review of the ship, actually. You can see me open the doors. And in each one of them doors, you have individual modules. Now, in 3.2, we're going to see the components come into play, the upgrading the components. We can do that to some extent now. But we'll also have degradation. We'll have to see how that one works out. I'm not sure how that's going to work out yet. I haven't really dug into the forums to see how that's going to work yet. The positive from that, at least it gives you a reason to buy a new component and upgrade a component. Will your components be renewed after insurance claim? Theoretically, yes, they will. If you've upgraded components and then you make an insurance claim, theoretically, the upgraded components won't be, it'll be the stock ones. What will happen in Star Citizen later on, you will be able to add an additional layer of insurance on top of your base insurance to cover them additional items to prevent you losing loads of cash. Now, this next one, this wasn't here before, this is pretty cool. Remotely operated turrets on vehicles. How cool is that going to be? Now, at the moment, I know a lot of us have been down on a planet.
And what do you guys think about that? Remote, that's the first time I think I've heard that. Remote turrets on vehicles. So you're outside of your ship and a vehicle drives by and you're just automatically killed? Is that what that means? I mean, that sounds scary to me. Remote turrets on vehicles. I don't know if that's necessary. Know what, Lurch? He said ground vehicles. Like on a Cyclone type vehicle. I mean, I can see tanks having them, but seriously? Little cars with remote turrets, so the guy just has to say, you know, target you and you're automatically getting shot at? I don't think I like that. I'd rather it take two people and have a person shooting at me than some AI that don't miss.
and you might get another player or someone fly down and shoot you on a planet. It happens, right? It's a game at the end of the day. So the ability to have remotely operated turrets is going to be a cool thing to try out. Alongside that, they're also introducing the man turrets as well. Same thing, right? But the players sitting in it firing it. Really looking forward to trying that out and doing some fun stuff. Now this one, for me, is a really, really important one. Ship persistence improvements. One of my biggest challenge I have at the moment. I've put in a lot of hours into Star Citizen, and my biggest issue I've had is the crashing. I haven't got an issue with crashing. I don't mind if the game crashes. It's what happens after that crash. As long as you can log back in and you can get back to where you were and continue off, it's not a problem. I don't mind that. We know that they're going to fix their issues. The challenge comes into play when it crashes and you log in and you've got nothing, and it can be a little bit disheartening. Particularly if you've done like lots of cargo runs, building up your cargo, and then you log in and you crash and just lose it in the blink of an eye. Ship persistence improvements, improving the core system responsible for persistent ships records on the PU. Yeah, I think that's pretty important. We're going to see improvements to the PMA and the VMA. So these are the interfaces where you see your character and all them bits and bobs. I think their ones are all right. I think they're okay. I think they're usable. I think they need to add another layer of visuals on it, and that's what it looks like what they're doing. One of the things what I would like them to improve a little bit is the star map. Now, let me know what you think in the comments, guys, and this is not in the list, but let me know what you think in the comments. I'm sure they will be updating at some point, but my feedback would be, is when you open that star map, the fact that it's transparent and the display behind it's transparent, because you're in the cockpit, right? So now you've got a transparent screen on a transparent screen, and now you can see outside of the ship. It becomes very difficult to see around that map. I wish they would make it so I wouldn't be averse against opening up the map in a new window, and then I'll chart my course. And the only other thing I would like to do is turn down the sun in the map as well, please. And the final one, which is going to add some real cool gameplay, service beacon escorts as well. So look, my take is 3.2 is the one for you guys to probably come in and give it a go. The performance has got better. I was waiting for 3.1.4. I was playing it on the PTU. It was definitely better. I've seen performance increases definitely on 3.1.4. Not significant, but much better than obviously 3.1. It's significantly better. I would say for me, 30% better probably. I reckon that's reasonable. And I think once the bind culling and the other bits and bobs come into play as well, that we should all see a much better improvement in overall performance. So overall, some really exciting stuff. And I think I've only just plucked a few things out 3.2. Some of the things that I think that are really going to add some really cool gameplay. And that's without even talking about the ships that are coming in. We've got the 600, the Hurricane, we've got the Eclipse, we've got the reworked Avenger, and also the Vandal Blade. Yeah, 3.2, guys, is going to be a rocker. I can't wait. I'm really looking forward to it. Month down the line, and looking at the last patch release, Star Citizen hit that day. Okay, it was a little bit buggy, but we got it. And I think that is really important for Star Citizen for Q2 to hit this target. Might be a little bit buggy at the start. This is a really good start to this year if they can show that they can hit these quarterly dates. So super excited about it. So that's everything from me, guys. I hope you enjoyed the video today. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to subscribe. Bye now.
All right, there we go. Tactical advance. There's his link there. Now we're going to go with the new fire. He came in with a video today talking about LTI. Let's see what he has to say. Mr. Noobfire, my favorite.
Hello YouTubers, this is the Noobfire. With the discussion getting heated and many perspectives being projected into all sorts of social media platforms, I felt it was time to take a look at what all the fuss was about. It should be no surprise to anyone that I love Star Citizen and that I want it to be everything that we know it can be. I recently made a video called Enough's Enough, where I presented the entire history of marketing systems that resulted in our current convoluted pledge system. The community engagement and the comments was very good, and it was constructive. Through your comments, I got a better understanding of a wider perspective, and although I wasn't expecting an official response from CIG, I'm pretty sure that they're aware of the video and that they've read the comments. With the recent sale of the Hercules, we see a modified marketing tactic. CIG seems to be heading forward with a new strategy. The new course of action places LTI only available with Warbond, and I hadn't actually considered that with my original video. I hadn't considered it because of a document from 2013. This new way seems to go against all of those guidelines. So no matter what the future holds, CIG will always be known as the king of crowdfunding. This is great news for all of us, as it demonstrates that CIG is actively thinking about the future and ensuring the game development continues. Ultimately, we the backers have supported the development thus far, but we need the help of new citizens with fresh funding to keep going. After much discussion with my orgmates and a lot of thought, the root of the entire drama can be traced all the way back to 2013, right after the Kickstarter. The document called Lifetime Insurance Clarification laid out how the LTI perk would manifest. Reading the comments from 2013's announcement, you get a real sense of a different time. People were excited and quickly reassured by what was presented. I now fully understand that the faith around 2013 and what was stated is why backers funded the project to begin with. Faith is why the funding has hit 180 million plus. People believing Chris Roberts and back in 2013 were easily reassured by his simple post. So LTI was to be an original perk intended for those who backed early. The video Enough's Enough laid out over time how the rules got a bit bent or even completely broken. The faith from 2013 has been tested more and more. 2018 might be the time to look at the bigger picture and have faith once again. A lot of people have a lot of money pledged towards the game. We're backers who volunteered our support. CIG is quickly becoming much more than a quirky indie game company with a small overhead. Month after month, CIG tries new ways to generate the funding that they need to continue. That single document from 2013 might be the source of all the salt, and I think now actually might be hindering the progress and wrecking our community. It's easy to lose faith when all the rules change after the game is started. Let's dig a little deeper. In 2016, the Masters of Flight series saw 4 flight-ready ships sold a second time with lifetime insurance, even though they were nothing more than a paint job. New citizens were quick to gobble them up as an easy way to get LTI.
That pissed me off when they did that, because I knew that there's circumvention of, they use skins to get out of what they said. Yeah, I was miffed.
Original backers became enraged, took to Reddit, got over it, but never truly forgot. There was a clear boost in funding, and we should all see this as a marketing success at the cost of some faith. This year, CIG really pushed that bar into uncharted territory with the Green Phoenix. Depending on your...
Then I had a normal Phoenix with no LTI, and I took advantage of this. So I really can't complain about what they're doing, because I benefited, because now I have a Phoenix with LTI. Even though this green skin's the first thing that's going to come off of it, I'm going to put some other skin on it. I'm not flying around like that.
Your perspective, it could be seen as good marketing or breach of a promise. The Green Phoenix straight up broke the rule as it was sold War Bond with LTI. Yes, it was painted green, so you could technically argue that it's different, but come on, that's not a concept sale. A gutsy move that was even more targeted and focused than the Masters of Flight sale. When I first saw that, I said, what the hell? But then I started to think about it after I got over my initial frustration, and I realized that CIG is growing up. I'm still pretty salty about that sale, but they're willing to trade a little bit of our faith from 2013 to ensure the project is healthy. The bigger picture is that in 6 hours they had $1 million more to fund the game that we want. So what's more important to you? A bankrupt game project that never broke the rules, or a successful game project that took some liberties with an outdated document from 2013? As I said before, my goal today is to generate discussion. I'm going to outline some suggested alterations to the accepted rules, and I would like your feedback. The Hercules concept sale seems to be the new standard. Buy War Bond at a reduced price, get LTI and possibly a bonus. Buy with credit, get fewer perks, and pay the actual price. The CCU system combined with a previously bought LTI ship is still an option. This practice doesn't technically break the rules because the concept is still offered with LTI. They're just making you pay real money for it. You're going to notice that I'm not going to talk about ship price today. That's also caused drama, but it has nothing to do with this video. If we allow CIG to redefine that document from 2013 and make it applicable to 2018, we can move forward with a better...
Give you a second to read that. The original document. I'm not the best reader. I'd screw it up. And they really screwed themselves when they put it all in writing and then they change it.
better chance of success and even less frustration. Moving forward, we have some possible opportunities in the near future that would once again break all the rules. The Asperia Blade is becoming flight ready. Normally there's a flight ready sale with 6-month insurance. Ships also normally go up in price when they come out the pipe, so here's two options I think we could see. Available with store credit. Asperia Blade, 6 months for $300. Available War Bond. Asperia Blade LTI for $250. In this case, once again, both the price and the LTI would probably trigger the backers and they would get upset. That promise, once again from 2013, was broken and we were lied to. Is it really worth getting upset over? This summer, the Blade, the 600, the Hurricane, the Avenger update, the Eclipse are all being released. CIG would get a nice boost in funding with the release of 3.2 and the other patches in the future if Flight Ready also meant Warbond had LTI. The anniversary sale could work exactly the same way. As the limited ships became available, buy with credit and get your 6-year insurance. Pay Warbond and get LTI. So now it's time for your opinion. Is it now time to let the marketing team do what they're supposed to do? To come up with creative ways to fund the game, and is it time to relax the rules from 2013? It's quite clear that we would all choose to entice new money out of new citizens rather than to hold on to what was said in the past and risk failure to complete the project. Thanks very much for spending your time with me. This one took some time and many people collaborated to generate the discussion. We would appreciate it if you took the time to share it with your org mates. Fly safe, and I'll see you in the verse.
And that was our good friend the Nubifier telling us how it is. They lied. How do you feel about that? They lied, but if they lie, they make money and don't go bankrupt, and we get our game. It's kind of like a necessary evil. I myself, they should say, just come out and be like, okay, we promised you LTI, and we said we weren't going to do all this stuff, but things have changed, so we're going to do this for you. I think that the people that are victims of the lie should get some kind of perk to make up for it. I mean, if I did something to you that upset you, I would say I'm sorry and try to make it up to you. Like, I don't know. Give everybody that pledged before a certain date, before they broke their promise or whatever, give them some kind of a ship or just something. That was the last video I got to show, but I wanted to bring attention to something because I talk to Noob on a daily basis. And this is something that a lot of people don't know, is that he's got another YouTube channel, but it's not no bullshit. This is like the funny side of Noob. I mean, like this video right here is my favorite video. This is actually my screensaver on my laptop.
That's why it's over here on Nubifier Gaming. Earlier today, Board Gamer was streaming, and out of nowhere, if you go super slow-mo, you're going to see that was actually an Aurora that hit. So I'm thinking Test Squadron. Anyways, the results were hilarious. Here you go.
We're going to find someone else to...
My favorite video. I'll play it back slower so you can see it.
Where's this? Hello,
Yeah.
YouTuber.
Put this on slow-mo.
Where's this?
You
Is
can-
the Nubifier with stream slow-mo. You're gonna see that was actually an Aurora that hit. So I'm thinking Test Squadron. Anyways, the results were hilarious. Here you go.
We're
Here
going
it
to find
comes.
someone else
See
to...
Tess coming? Bang! And here on this Nubifier Gaming, this is where you're gonna see the real Noob, not the no bullshit channel that he created for a purpose to deliver information with no bullshit. But this is what Noob really is. He's not some robot that don't care about people and doesn't have a sense of humor or whatever. I mean, I mean, if you watch these videos, you'll actually get to see the real Nubifier. And I also want to bring attention to how well laid out. Oh, wrong channel. I gotta go back to his other channel. How well laid out his playlists are on his No Bullshit channel. Oops. Okay. So if you go to Noob's, the Nubifier 1337, and you click on his playlist, pretty much if you got like something that you're looking for an answer to, you can pretty much categorize it into one of these things and go there. Like if you're trying to put weapons on a ship, there you go. It's this one. If you want to know about the weapons, it's this one. You're looking for a voice pack, it's this one. You want to set up voice attack and do advanced features, Elfane, right here. This is where you want to go. This is the stuff that you were asking me about today. And then joystick bindings. If you just bought your new Virpil or your Warthog or whatever, you want to know about the job situations. You want to set up your track IR right here. You just bought the game and you don't know how to fly. You go here. I'm doing this more for Elfane, guys, because he's brand new to Star Citizen. Just got his account last week. And then Star Citizen development topics. I mean, he did a really good job of putting all this together. Now I think I'm going to get into some gameplay because I want to try and make some money. I'm only going to be up for about another hour or two. But I'm going to go into the verse here. It's that time. And we'll turn the music on and we'll have a good time. I'm in Panda's Discord, Lurch. If you want to come in, I don't mind. If you want to do some cargo run, I gotta try and make some money. Like anybody that's got privileges to Oxford's Discord, if you want to come in here and get with me, fine. Well, I guess I'm doing this all off screen, but I'll show you. I'm starting up my target software for my Warthog. I have to do that, otherwise the game won't recognize nothing because of the way I got it set up. And then the next thing I gotta do is start my voice attack up. I don't think I'm gonna need voice attack. I don't have all my commands right. It's too buggy. It's not ready to be on stream yet, but I'm working on my voice attack. And we'll fire up the game here. That's fine, Lurch. I just didn't want to be rude and not invite you like normally you're invited to the show. Wanted to keep everything as normal as possible in the habitat. How do you look for me? In Star Citizen? Oh, we have to add each other. you have to, there's two ways to do it. You can do it from the Star Citizen website and look for Twistar there and follow me on the website, the Robert Space Industries website. And then the second way to do it is to, I want to say go here to the contact list. Yeah. And then you come up here and you type in Twistar and then hit add. And then you would tell me what your name is in the game, which I think it's Alphane because nobody else has that name. So I'll just try Alphane. Stop me if I'm wrong. And then you hit add. And now, theoretically, you should be here somewhere. My friends list is huge. So huge. Yeah, you're right here. And then you have to do it for me. And then once you're on my list and I'm on yours, then we see each other. And then we should be able to join. But sometimes it don't work. I mean, I've had certain people, and I don't know if it's certain IPs just don't match up or something, but for some reason I've added people, and even though they're online, they just, no matter what, it won't show that they're online for me, but other people see them. But I don't know if that bug is still going around or not. Twistar, no 82, just Twistar. Mr. Oxford has entered Discord. How we doing, Ox? My push to talk's not working. Oh, here it is. Hey, Ox, how you doing? Is this game gonna load?
Hey, dude, how are you?
Here we go. I'm doing good. Just got into the game. You gonna play? You gonna play the game?
No, not at the moment. Sorry, I've just Microsoft update came down last night and it's mucked up all my settings, so I'm just going to get it sorted.
All right, you're live, by the way. They can hear you.
Oh, no worries at all.
No, I'm not worried about it. It's your show. I'm just the guest host.
I'm not here. No one's seen me.
Hey, if you need another day to get better, because I can tell you're getting sicker, I'll do this tomorrow for you if you want me to. It's not a problem.
I'll give you a shout.
Okay.
We advise guests, please use caution on exiting the armistice zone, as weapons will once again become active.
Hang on now. I'll exit out and I'll show you how to join on me.
Kindly ask that guests exit out as soon as it is safe to do so.
So there's two ways to do it, Alf. We can either form a party at the welcome screen, and then when the party leader goes in, you automatically get drug into the instance. Or I can already be in a game, and because I'm on your friends list and I show, it'll say join on top of me, and you'd go here to Crusader, and then here's your two options. This right here, you just join your own server, and if you clicked here, my name would show here, and then you would hit join these friends, and when you hit that blue bar right there, then you would join on me. Or I can give you a party invite, which I'll do right now and show you how you do that. See, I'm not showing you online right now. I might have to log completely out and log back in, because that's another thing. Let's see if when I log back in, if you show online. Yes, I will give you mod access. Lurch, do you want to be a mod too? You want to be a mod, let me know. I got no problem adding you as a mod. The more people I get helping me do this, the better. So, no, I want her to go to here. Still stuck. What do you mean stuck? No, I don't see you. I don't see you online. You might have to log out and log back in now, and then maybe you'll see me online. You keep playing with it. I showed you how to join on me, and just tell me that you're coming in when you figure it out, or the servers catch up to us following each other. Either or. So I found this video series that goes into the whole real story of a guy that was the highest backer at one time at the beginning of the Star Citizen project. And because of all the lies and all the stuff, he defected and like pulled his money out. And but he did his videos in a way to where it's pretty much all factual. And I know it's all factual because I was following Chris Roberts when he was 23 years old. I literally followed the making of the first Wing Commander through gaming magazines. Back then, we didn't have Twitch and YouTube and all that stuff. We had to beg our moms to buy us magazines. So I can back up what he's saying. And I was thinking about doing it's gonna take like a whole 2 hours to get through all the videos. But I was thinking about doing that one night, like the history of Chris Roberts and how he got to where he had the crowdfunding thing going on. I mean, he talks about all kinds of stuff that I forgot about, but as he was saying it, I remember it because I was there and I lived it. I mean, it's not really news. Well, I guess it is news. It's just old news that people forgot about.
Welcome to the Port Olisar ship deck. Please press the screen to continue. For our guests' safety, this station has been designated as an armistice zone. All weapons are currently disabled.
I think I have a freelancer already on Daymar.
We kindly ask that guests exit airlocks as soon as it is safe to do so.
You guys see that? It says my Saber Raven is in Port Olisar interdicted. That is so weird.
And avoid obstructing airlocks. Thank you for your assistance.
Oh no, okay, I get it. Okay. So I was like, what the heck?
To prevent traffic, we ask that all arriving pilots use the designated
I
landing.
understand now. Yeah, it's here.
For departing ships.
So I got a freelancer over at Arcorp Mining on Daymar. So I'm gonna grab something and just fly it over there.
Save on resources and expenses. Join the ship share program today and fly together.
I mean, grab some ships.
Your ship has been delivered to the following landing pad.
Tampering with weapon safety protocols is strictly forbidden.
Yes, Ox, he's a moderator, but he doesn't know anything. He doesn't know anything about Twitch
For your
or
convenience, our automated ship
I have to learn so I can teach him. So if you want to take him from square one, be my guest.
out of the station. This station is a proud member of the ship share program, encouraging travelers.
At the moment, I can't access your bot for some reason. It's saying that it's not logged in by Twitch or by DeepBot Streamer. So it's obviously having a glitch. I don't know why.
Okay, I got my bot up on the screen. I got my bot up on the screen for you, Ox. If it probably got a delay. If you can tell me what you want me to go to the master settings?
Can you go to the front page?
That's the front page right there.
Okay. Can you go to disconnect your bot login, then reconnect it? And do the same for your streamer login. You can do it. Awesome. Okay, we'll see if this works now. Connected.
How long is my delay?
10 seconds.
Ooh, is that good or bad?
That's good. Awesome. Thank you.
For your convenience, our automated
Okay, I think my ship was at 1.
storage of all resources. To access your craft, consulted one of the terminals. Have a good day.
So we're taking the 350R Racer. Just so I can get to Daymar kind of quick. What was that guy doing? Stream snipers. I feel it already. Alright, where's the door? Here we go. Oh, shit. I swear to God, I mean, I'm not bragging or anything, but I got so many ships. I really don't know how to get into every ship and where everything's at yet. Like, this is probably like the 5th time I've drove this ship. But I like it. Like it a lot.
Origin shipworks at your service. Core system operational. Launch complete.
Landing gear deployed. I never picked it up. Alright.
Landing gear raised.
Am I missing something? Like my speedometer? You guys, I mean, I don't see a speedometer. Am I just not seeing it? Okay. I don't see a map either. So the ship's not really done yet. I must say the server's, it's really laggy. Like I can feel it like pausing every so often. There we go.
Quantum drive engaged. Quantum drive disengaged.
So my freelancer's over at Arcart Mining. So that's where we're going to pick up my freelancer so we can fill it up with something.
Quantum drive engaged.
some afterburner going here. So how was the news, guys? I mean, did you like it? I mean, I would really like to hear what you guys thought, even if it's not good, so I can improve. I take criticism very well. I use criticism as a tool to be better. So if there's anything that you didn't like, please let me know. Do I have to make you a level 2? Should I do that?
Could you try Twistar? That would be awesome.
Okay, let me get to let me slow my ship down and do that. Okay, where do I make you a level 2 at? In Deepbot itself?
Yeah, just in Deep Bot. That should be absolutely fine. So go into the user database. Also, can you make sure under the master settings on the front page it allows for mods to add and edit channel commands? Because that could be the other thing.
Okay, on the front page under master?
Yeah. That's it. Scroll down about quarter of a way.
What is it at? Am I actually looking for? What's it called?
It's called allow mods to add and edit channel.
It's checked.
It's checked. Awesome. Okay, we'll see if this works.
But I made you a mod in Twitch, but I didn't make you a mod. When I went to edit users, you weren't listed as a mod yet, so it kind of makes sense. I might have to like disconnect and reconnect again, maybe, for the settings to take effect. But yeah, you weren't a mod for the bot. You were just a mod for Twitch.
Okay, that's fine. As I'm a mod for the bot now, even better. Thanks, dude.
Is it working?
I'll check it. I'll come back to you.
Yay, it looks like it worked. Alright, let's see what the top speed on this thing is. It's still going. Holy crap. And it's still going. There we go. 1347. But wait a minute, as soon as I stop afterburner, it slows down? That's not good. Let me see if make sure Alphane is listed. Bot 2. Oh, Alphane's not even in my user database for some reason. That's odd. Should be in there, but he's not. Don't know. For some reason, Alphane's not in my user database. Oh, I see it says hide offline. So maybe if I uncheck this. Okay. Now I get everybody. Awesome. I like that. I got it. I had hide offline users. Alphane must have went offline because he's at work. So in Atmo with the afterburner on, I was at about 500 for a little while. Now it's slowing down. It seems like the lower altitude you get, the slower it's going to go. There it is. I'll drop my landing gear.
Landing gear deployed.
Get a little closer, and then we'll call it in for a landing. Thank you, Nighthawk, for the host. Really appreciate it. You're awesome. And the bot's working. Oh. You should be close enough to call in now. We're going to call in for a landing. Go to this little people thing here. Sylvantis is on my server and she's at ArcCorp. Is this true, Sil? Are you here? Are you here with me, Sil? Do you want to go for a ride in the Freelancer? That's the name I thought I saw up on my screen there when I opened up comms. Is she in game playing on my server at ArcCorp Mining? I could be wrong. I mean, I am old. Once you get 50, you're not sure about what you see anymore or hear. Drop this baby down. It is so jittery. like I had like a second pause. It's like it's pausing like every couple seconds. Wonder if I should try another server. I'll park up in the corner and give some other people some room to land in case they got landed here too. Be a little polite and courteous to your fellow citizens. That's how I roll. It's almost that time for Nubifier to wake up, come to his computer and turn it on and wonder why he's still awake and go back to bed. On the handle. Beautiful. Get out of here. Nice. And that's the 350R. We'll do a little walk around here. Guys, check it out. .350R in all of its glory. Really impressive from the back. I mean, look at them thrusters. Speed. Alright, I need to go to the blue building, which is over here. Hey, the game's pausing every 5 seconds. Should I try another server before I load up with cargo box?
Personally, I would. Yeah.
Okay. We're gonna try another server. So to guarantee that I don't get put into the last server, because I know that when I select best, it puts me in a US server, I'm just going to go to the AU server. How long did it take for your emote to get approved? It's been like 2 days for me now.
2 weeks.
Oh, really? Okay. Let's see if this server's any better. Oh no! I'm in Port Olisar. Oh no, I gotta fly another ship down there. Oh boy. I didn't think that one out. The old, feeble person made a mistake. I'm gonna have a bunch of ships down there if I don't watch it.
Welcome to the Port Olisar ship deck. Please press the screen to continue.
Alright, we'll just call the
This station has been
350R back home here.
tampering with weapon safety protocols strictly forbidden.
And then let's take
Space may be lonely, but you don't have to. Save on resources and expenses.
I haven't flown the Delta
Join
yet,
program today.
so I've never flown this ship. In fact, I've never really even seen it up close, but yet I own it. That's how bad I am.
Avoid obstructing airlocks. Thank you.
Alright, here we are. Day. Ah. Zero. I go up. This is going up. Oh, this right here is the Mustang Delta. This is actually my first look at it up close. And take the missiles off and roll with, I believe, and people can correct me if I'm wrong, I believe 4 size 2s, because you can replace the missiles with size 2s. That'd be 4 size 2s and 2 size 1s. Which for something small, hard to hit, and fast, I'd have to say is good. So,
Sorry, correct you if you're wrong.
I am wrong?
Yeah, sorry, dude. It's they stopped the allowing to swap out the rocket pods. You can only have the rocket pods there now.
Ah. There you go. Cannot take the rocket pods off anymore. Gotta find a way in, Ox.
Belly of a beast.
Well, I didn't expect such a small ship to have like walking space inside of it. I figured you'd go right to the seat. This is like a really small. Well, that's right. There's one of them that actually has a bed, I think. An Explorer version. All right.
Welcome. Your journey begins now. All systems operational.
Awesome. It's a girl. And she's almost kind of got like a hot voice, a certain nerdy way. I can get used to that. Oh, this ship is responsive. Holy crap. Thing's like right on the money. It's tight. Yeah. Nice. And I'm not getting that server lag anymore either. So Australian servers rule, American servers stink. I don't know why, but that's been my experiences. So let's get back to the freelancer. I like the sound of the ship too. I can go back and forth and make that noise all day. I like that.
Quantum travel engaged. Quantum travel cancelled. Contact.
Uh-oh. What we got going on here, guys? We've been interdicted. Maybe I can pick up my trail and get back where I need to be.
Quantum travel engaged.
All right.
Quantum travel cancelled. Contact.
Wow, they're really after me. Somebody's hot on my trail.
Quantum travel engaged. Quantum travel complete.
What do you mean complete? They're trying to get me.
Quantum travel engaged.
I'm getting the feeling my game volume's a little loud.
Quantum travel complete.
Is the game volume loud, Oxford, or is it just my headphones?
I think it's just your headphones. Sounds perfectly balanced to your voice.
All right. So how is my new voice? I took the treble out of it.
It sounds like it's not scared of anything.
Was it good, bad, or ugly?
It's all good,
Quantum
dude.
travel
Sounds fine.
engaged. Quantum travel complete.
All right. Hardcore. Here we go. Now, if you approach it upside down, it allows you to see your thing when you get up close, and turn right side up once you get close. That's what I've been doing, and having really good luck with it. Let's see what the max speed on this is. Now this isn't the racer. This is the gunship variant of the Mustang. I got a feeling it's still pretty fast. And it is. 1200's pretty good. Could be breaking Atmos soon.
Contact.
Got contact? What do you mean we got contact? Am I about to blow me up or something? Probably a heat signature. Can you get rid of the gimbaled nose and put a size 2 there?
You used to be able to. I haven't tried it in a while on the Delta, but I wouldn't see any reason why not.
Alright, we got somebody firing something at somebody. I don't think it's us. I hope it's not us.
It will depend if it's actually a fixed turret or not.
I don't know. All I know is that I don't want to touch any loadouts in the game because it still breaks everything. It like steals stuff off your other ships. Then you log into your ship and then, I mean, you should have to take it off, physically take it off the ship for it to be available, but that's not how it works. I'm afraid to touch any of my ordinances.
You're gonna want to keep on flying.
Thank you, Ox. And I do /command list to pull up what you did. Or CMD list, space list. Alright. Looks good. Thank you. Before I go to work tomorrow, I'll take a look. Okay, we're 125 out. I think I can shut my afterburner off.
Contact.
Contact again. Okay. Maybe I should. I don't know. I see that enemy there, but I think it's on the other side of the planet, the way it looks. Here we go, my favorite part. I love this stuff. It's like a fireworks show. We have broken atmosphere. We are on our way in. So I stiffened up my pedals pretty much to the max. Now I got much better control of my roll. So it seems that tighter is less sensitivity. I think you can adjust it a little bit in game too. I love that noise. For some reason, it's like an ominous noise. It's I don't know. I like that noise. We will call in for a landing here. Maximum safe speed. Oh, it's, yeah, that guy was right. You can't have see-through on top of see-through. Who said that? Was that Technical Advance or that Super Mac Pro? I can't remember. My bad. But whoever did say it, they're right. See-through on top of see-through equals not good. Yeah, I see where I'm going. Did drop my landing gear, didn't I? Maybe I should check that first. Landing gear deployed. Alright. I'll believe you. I don't see anything that looks like landing gear. Maybe it's always down. Maybe it's just those bottom skids. Or maybe it doesn't exist yet and they just pretend. Take this little corner here. Park. As soon as I set my ship down, I hit the 5 key to power it all down. It's just the way I do it. It's the way I like to do it. Then I hit Alt F. Takes me out of the seat. Oh, I gotta figure out how to get out of here. Maybe it's the ladder. Yeah, makes sense. Stuck in my ship, I'm not going to be happy. Excellent. Now, at ArcCorp, it's the blue building to get your ships, and I believe it's a red building to get your cargo. Not all in the same building. I think the red building's there. Not 100% sure, but we're gonna find out. So happy that it's not lagging, and I'm so happy that I changed servers. So these are all ground vehicles. Is there another panel for ships? All right, Ox, I'm baffled. I parked a freelancer here, landed it. It shows up in Port Olisar as being here at our Orcarp mining. And when I go to the ship terminal, all I see is my ground vehicles. Is there another building with ship terminals? And these are ground terminals? I swear to God, it said my freelancer was parked here. I'm not seeing it. Not seeing it. Let me go to the one where the cargo is, and maybe there's a different terminal for ships. And I know I got a freelancer here. I just want my freelancer. Huh. Really? My freelancer is not here. It's not good. Not good. I know I parked it here. I never seen this thing move before. Like some kind of well pump or something. Pretty cool. Got Mr. Dragonfly. Neat. Hi. I'm gonna go back and get a cutlass. I want to make a little bit of money tonight before I go to bed. So the story is that I brought a freelancer here. I landed it here at Port Olisar. It shows that it's here. I came out here in this ship to get my freelancer and fill it up and bring it back, but it won't let me spawn my freelancer, even though it says it's here. It just doesn't show up on the terminal. It is so hard to get the right spot with this thing. I gotta get closer. Yeah, you just gotta get closer. Right. Let's fire it up.
Welcome. Your journey begins now. All systems operational.
Thank you.
Launch complete.
Oh yeah, it's beautiful. Up and away. Let's get our coordinates set for Pulsar. Hiding. Astro. Come on. Map needs a lot of work, in my opinion. Okay, we got it set.
Contact.
And away we
Quantum
go.
travel engaged. Quantum travel cancelled. Quantum travel engaged.
Man, they got the
Quantum travel
interdiction
canceled.
cranked up.
Contact. Contact.
Man, they like to put those rocks in your way when they interdict you. I came out of interdiction, I had a rock right in front of me.
Quantum travel engaged. Quantum travel complete.
Let's bring the speed down here. Side up. Yeah, that looks better. Alright, let's call in a landing. I don't know why my freelancer wasn't there. Oh. And Elfane is back. Right, so we landed that baby.
Landing complete.
Five.
Have a pleasant stay.
Complete. Land.
cool if they did it, but like honestly, I would be happy with the kiosks allowing us to buy weapons and equipment that you would normally buy from the EA store. When ships are available for money in game, for in-game currency, I think the whole purpose of buying ships with real money will, for a temporary amount of time, be to have a decent ship after wipe, like you brought up, Greg. But in the long term, excuse me, it's going to be about hey, thanks man, thanks for following, dude, and hey, and thanks for the host, dude. I really appreciate it, Twistar. I really appreciate that, man. I think that the lifetime insurance is going to be the biggest reason why people still buy ships. But if ships do become available in game, you will still see a huge slowdown of people buying ships because they're going to wait to buy awesome versions of what they, foresee themselves playing with the most. Be cool if you could import skins and or nose art. Yeah, man, I agree, dude. Us small guys gotta stick together. Those big guys, they got it made. They got it made. I'll hit you up with the host in the future too, man. If I ever see you online. Normally, so normally I'd be offline by now. But yeah, we're having a pretty good discussion about the state of the game and like where the game is going to be going, and it's really educational for me because I've only played the game for a few weeks, and while I've watched tons of YouTube videos, everyone watches YouTube videos, and I've read a ton of Reddit, and I've just kind of like played as much as I could. There's so much that the early backers know that I don't know, and it's like really educational and like I don't know. So as an adult, it's like I can wait for Christmas, right? Like I'm fine with that. I'm like super patient and I can wait for that. But like with Star Citizen is like Christmas as a kid. Like you can't stop thinking about it every day, and you can't stop like wishing that tomorrow was 3.2, and then the next day was 3.3, and then the next day was 3.4. Like I want it all. I want it all right now. I love this game.